What's up, ladies? All right, please say hello as you're coming on. I'm going to take a moment, get this video pinned in our group. Make sure that if you're not in the macro tracking and weightlifting for women group, to get yourself there, because we are going to go through this post right here about answering questions. There's so many good questions. I'm very excited. So let me get this pinned. Give you guys a sec to hop on. Where's my video, ladies? Let me know how you're doing today. Happy hump day. Let me get this pinned real quick. There we go. Great. Great, ladies. Great. Okay. Let me turn this down. Great. Oh my gosh, ladies, there's so many good questions. And just to be honest and share about my style and how I talk and teach, I do not actually prepare answers beforehand. I like to just have conversations and just kind of answer like as I hear the question. So that is my approach. So that's what I'll share here. I did just kind of quickly read through some of them. If there is one I will do a research review on, and I'm going to make every Thursday, so starting tomorrow, research review days. Okay, so what that means is we will dig into the research. So all of us trainers, we're a team of 4 now. You'll start seeing their faces more and more, which is super exciting. We're going to go into every single week. We'll look into peer-reviewed research over the last 3 to 5 years and say, what's happening, right? How does this relate to us? How does this need to change what we're doing in terms of macros, in terms of, lifting, body recomposition, like anything and everything that truly relates to better results, better lifestyle, healthier living, we will get into, okay? So just as a reminder, Wednesdays, we're doing live Q&A, which is what we're here for now. So thank you, ladies, so much for all the questions that have come in. It's beautiful, and I really appreciate it. I hope you ladies can see this. It might be a little bit small, but I just wanted you to have the visual as well. Okay, let's dive right in. Ladies, any other questions that just come in as I'm talking, please post them. Please, please, please post them, because let's have a conversation. And also, it's like sometimes you learn one thing and then you're like, oh, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know, right? And so more questions come, which is great. And if I don't know the answer or my trainers don't know the answer, we will find the answer and we'll talk through it, okay? Great. Beautiful. Great to have you, ladies. Thanks for being here. So Patricia, is survival mode a myth, or is there scientific evidence that eating significantly less calories leads to weight loss or fat loss stall? How long before one starts losing muscle mass? I love this question. I think it's great. It's the first question. This is one I will be doing a research review on tomorrow, actually. We have a client right now really struggling with eating more. She's on very low calories, and I refuse to drop her lower just out of like moral and ethical guidelines, basically, right? Like, I'm not going to put anyone in a starvation diet. I understand diet culture. I understand sometimes it's scary to eat more, but if you're not fueling your body properly, your quality of life, your hormones, your internal processes, they're not going to function optimally because they don't have the energy or calories. So energy / calories / nutrients, right? To function optimally, right? But I'm going to dig into the research for her and for you guys. So that will come tomorrow. I will really deep dive talk through is like, this is what's happening by under eating. My current understanding is that when you do under eat calories, macros, your body thinks it's in starvation mode, right? Your metabolism is going to way slow down because your body's like, okay, I need to survive. I need to live, right? So if I'm not being fed for my training demands, right? So for lifting weights, for everyday living, right? For walking, for being active, your metabolism is going to try to make that food or that energy. So I'm going to interchange food and energy last for as long as possible. So how can it do that? It slows down your metabolism. It slows down digestion. It slows down how much you're burning, right? Not ideal. Definitely not ideal for fat loss and fat gain, right? So those things alone are a reason why you should never undereat or go on the fad diets or just basically essentially go into starvation diet. Even if you don't feel like you're starving, it's because your metabolism has adapted. Your body may still think it's starving. So again, I will share that tomorrow, and we'll really look into like, here's internally what's happening when you're under eating. And then possibly I'll share with you guys the reverse dieting process, but I do have a video on that. If you want that, just comment phase change video. And I talk through what should you be expecting when you're cutting, when you're in maintenance, when you're in surplus, and when you're in reverse dieting. Like, what should you be expecting in your body results wise? And it also gives recommendations of this is how much you should add at a time, like that type of thing. So if you want that, just let me know. Love that question. That's such a good question. A lot of ladies struggle with that. So we take it seriously, and we'll get you some really good answers. Okay, Casey. How long does it take to lose a significant amount of weight, 30 to 50 pounds, and how long does it take to perform a body recomp? How often should you assess and adjust your food and macros if you're not seeing results? You guys have the best questions. I love it. Okay, let's take this one at a time. So how long does it take to lose a significant amount of weight? This is so dependent on each woman in terms of lifestyle, okay? So a healthy rate of loss is 1 to 1.5 pounds per week. If you're seeing much higher, so like 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds per week, you're most likely losing muscle mass. You're losing a lot of water weight, right? Not really sustainable. The first couple weeks, you may be seeing big drops. A lot of it is most likely bloat, totally normal, right? The first couple weeks on proper macros, you'll see those drops, right? But in reality, having a 1 to 1.5 pound fat loss, maybe at the 50 pound mark, you may be able to get away with 2 pounds per week totally. Depends on how you feel, depends on how high of your food quality is, right? Stuff like that. So I would say between a 1 to 2, man, I don't want to get caught in the weeds, ladies, with some of you for less. So I'm going to stick to 1 to 1.5 pound fat loss per week for a healthy and sustainable rate of loss to preserve your muscle mass and even gain muscle mass in a deficit. That being said, I want to actually quickly bring up a research article that I did on protein. And, but I want to talk about this one. Our team of trainers, we were digging into protein this morning because there is a lot of different information out there. And it's like, we only want to go by peer-reviewed research, not just by like what random people say, right? So we were actually talking about this morning. And so let me quickly share a different screen. And I want to show you that it doesn't always equal calories in, calories out. There are a lot of different factors in play. I know this is maybe a little bit small, so I think I can actually zoom. So let me show you the source. So I'm going to rotate this so you can see the source here. It's a little bit blurry, so let me grab you one that's not blurry because I have this on references right here. Thanks for your patience, ladies. One sec. But it's so cool to see. Okay, because we should always be going by research, right? So here's the references of my protein research review. But this one, let me make sure this is it. So moderate and higher protein intakes, this one. Okay, so it's the bottom one. Okay, so this is the research article I'm about to show you. You may know Brad Schoenfeld. Like, this is also from, where's my date? From 2022, and it's a peer-reviewed research article, meaning it's very accurate, right? If it's not peer-reviewed, probably shouldn't be looking at it as an accurate source of research. Okay, so let me pull this one back up for you guys. Zoom out on this. Okay, great. So what this is saying here, and so what we're talking about is body recomposition, so lose fat, gain muscle, but I wanted to take a minute to show you that you can actually gain muscle in a deficit, which is incredible, okay? This is one article, right? So we'll keep digging into articles, but this is one article from the last 3 years. Okay, so it says right here, so I'm going to kind of sum it up, but you can also read. So the first law of thermodynamics, achieving a chronic negative energy balance, so a deficit, is necessary to reduce body fat, right? So being a deficit, lose body fat. Okay. In contrast, being in a surplus, so energy or a food surplus, is generally recommended for building muscle. Naturally, right? Because you have more food that your body can use to go be super strong in the gym, right? So you have lots of energy to use in the gym so you can break down your muscles more, right? You'll also be eating a lot of protein, which is going to help repair your muscle tissue, okay? However, body recomposition, lose fat, gain muscle, has been demonstrated under hypocaloric conditions, so being in a deficit. So it's saying, however, you can lose fat and gain muscle in a deficit. Therefore, body recomp seems to be more complex than energy balance alone, calories in, calories out. Okay, great. So it's talking about hypertrophy, and then it says, okay, so it says hypertrophy is an energy demanding process, right? Growing muscle, right? So additional energy is necessary for lean tissue growth over time. However, this energy supply doesn't just have to come from a surplus of food. It can come from internal fat, yay, and from glycogen stores. How do you make sure that you have enough in your glycogen stores? You eat adequate carbohydrate, right? If you're not eating enough carbohydrate, your glycogen stores are either depleted or your body has had to take your protein to convert it to glucose to help fill your glycogen stores. If you're not eating enough carb and protein, guess what happens? Your body breaks down your muscle to fill those stores. It's so bad. So eating enough carbohydrate is so vital, ladies, especially those who lift weights and are active, because that's the primary energy source or the primary macro that your body needs for energy. If you're not giving it to your body, it has to find it in other ways. So it's a less efficient process, right? You're making your body work rather than doing the work for it and eating adequate amount of carbohydrate. Okay, great. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So it's also saying like there is conflicting research out there. We need to keep up with the research and just keep seeing new research, right? Okay, great. I love research. It's just so fun to look at. It's so interesting. Okay, so let me go back to our Facebook window here. Okay, great. So yeah, so for the amount of weight, 30 to 50 pounds, the thing is though, the scale fluctuates so much. And so at Queens of Iron, we take 5 measurements. We take waist, low belly, hips, upper thigh, and mid thigh. I personally like to see about 2 to 3.5 centimeter drops per week for those in a deficit who are compliant, right? So when you say, well, how long does it take? It's like, well, it really depends on your lifestyle and your level of compliance, right? Are you having to totally rewire your lifestyle and fix a lot of things that have gotten you to where you are? Probably. Totally normal. Everyone does that, right? If you have a few lifestyle things to change, it might be faster because it's more natural. If you have a lot of lifestyle things to change, which a lot of ladies do, it takes a little bit more time because of the changes you're having to make on your end, right? Like choosing higher qualities of food. So take heart if it's taken a while. Recognize my focus right now is not the scale. My focus is habit stacking, healthy habits over time. That will help you produce a really healthy, fit lifestyle that you love. I love these comments coming in. I will answer all of them after this video, okay? I'll check my schedule at 10 just to, oh, yeah, today's Wednesday. I'm like, okay, wait, what do I have a meeting? So I'll check, but if I don't have anything after this, I will stay on here for as long as you guys need all the questions, okay? Okay, great. So the next one, how long does it take to perform a body recomposition? Well, technically, if you're lifting weights with a program designed to meet your goals, with the right macros, you'd be doing that every week, right? Losing fat and gaining muscle every week with compliance, right? So there's lots of different variables in place. So it's like, make sure those variables are in place so your hard work, your work ethic, your diligence is reaping the result you want. Having grace when you're not perfect on things, because you won't be, right? But the closer you follow, the better results you're going to get, right? Naturally. Same with tracking your finances. The more detail you pay to it, is it set for your goals? Are you following the plan? Are you learning new lifestyle habits? You're going to be financially thriving, right? So it's so similar. Okay. How often should you assess and adjust your macros if you're not seeing results? This is exceptionally dependent on each woman, totally individually, truly. I'll give you a few examples. One, if you are 6 to 7 days compliant and you are lifting weights in the way that you want, like lifting weights in a way that supports your desired outcome, you're 6 to 7 days compliant, and you have at least 10 or more pounds to lose, you should be seeing results every single week. Okay. This does vary. However, some women who are like 3 pounds, maybe not 5, usually 3 pounds within their goal, sometimes it's like a week of, why isn't the weight changing? But we're also like increasing up. So we need another week. We need another week. If the habits are perfectly in place and things are steady and you don't think you're close to maintenance, you may need a macro change or an activity increase steps. You could throw a day of cardio in there if you'd like, but I would say let's talk through it to make sure it's really the right course of action, right? But steps are a really good one to increase. But in reality, I'm just thinking of actually one of our gals, because I'm like, I feel like 90 to 95% of women, if you're compliant, you're doing the right things, you're seeing results every single week, no question. Some ladies are still working through food quality, even though they hit their macros. Some women have hypothyroidism. So when we're 3 pounds from goal weight, sometimes the body's trying to do its own thing. And we're like, okay, let's listen to what it's doing. What are your habits right now? What are your steps right now? Let's listen to what it's doing. Let's get another week of assessment, another week of data to see, maybe let's throw 2 days of cardio in there, right? So basically what I'm saying is like each situation needs to be viewed separately. But again, if you're compliant and you're lifting and you're eating high quality foods, you should be seeing results every week, especially if you have like 20 pounds to lose, without a doubt. I'm actually thinking of another client, very, very compliant, hits her lifts really well. The program she was in before us couldn't get her any more results. She's come here. I think she's like 15 pounds down, like seeing great results. Some weeks, things are a little bit steady. And so I'm like, okay, let me really dive into why would nothing be changing? When's your menstrual cycle? I see it about to come. Is that part of it? Maybe. Oh, there was one day where I just ate totally crappy foods and I feel really bloated, right? So remember that those things are taking place. So if you don't see results after 1 week, it's like, don't make massive changes. This is why it's really challenging to do macros by yourself, because there's so much emotion involved. So if you see something, you're like, slash calories, slash carbs, slash this, because it's scary and you want to make a change. But in reality, there's so many other variables that need to be considered, and you should never move too quickly, ever. Reverse dieting as well. Don't move too quickly. We need to see the trend of what the body's doing. So I guess that was a really detailed answer to say 3 weeks. Let's say 3 weeks, I think is great. 3 weeks of compliance. It gives you time to regulate and kind of steady out, which I think is great. Okay, great. Ladies, real quick, for those who are totally new to me, I'm going to really quickly share my background and who I am and that type of thing. So I've been a trainer for about 12 and a half years. I have my bachelor's degree in exercise science, my master's degree in international business. I have loads of certifications, group fitness, personal training, obviously, nutrition coaching, mindset behavioral change. My gosh, loads of nutrition, loads of body recomp, fat loss fundamentals, training the female athlete. Like, I love the physique development. So if any, I don't want to, we're not competition trainers, but we like that body style, fit and feminine, right? But we take like the fit feminine, like fitness model bodies with lifestyle macros and smash it into one. So you can build a body that you love, but it's also really healthy and sustainable. So that's who we are. So yeah, this has been my only adult career for literally 12 and a half years, is training and nutrition, outside of 4 years of active duty Army. And in the Army, I also trained them in fitness. I created and taught them nutrition courses. Like, this has been my life for all this time. I love the research. I'm actually truly obsessed with it. So that's who I am. And that's kind of my background for those of you who may have just joined this group or like, who is this woman talking? I've trained about 500 clients personally. I've been online fully for 3 years. Again, we have a team of trainers. Each client has 2 trainers, myself in a group format, and then they each have a one-on-one client success trainer too, which is super cool. So yeah, I love it. I remember being on the other side of, I'm so uncomfortable in my body. I don't want to go do things with friends because my belly's hanging over my jeans and I feel like crap and I don't know what to eat for my body. And then learning how to do this, I was like, every woman needs to know this information. Like, this is insane. And I've had that mission literally for 12 and a half years now. And I'm more fired up about it now than ever, especially with all the misinformation. It's like, let's get into the research. So that is who we are at Queens of Iron, is research and science-backed professionals, but also with more than a decade of experience. All trainers combined, we have about 20 years of experience too, which is really cool. Okay, so Shabana, how can I lose another 20 pounds? I'm stuck. In fact, I gained 8 pounds in 1 year. Eating mindfully and working out consistently. Yes, I've heard this problem a lot. I'm doing everything I know how to do. I eat pretty clean. I'm putting in the work in the gym. Why am I not seeing better results? So valid, right? It's getting on the right macros. 110%. It's getting on the right macros and training your lifestyle. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. It really comes down to that. Start with a macro calculator. See the baseline it gives you. Ladies, if you have been doing something drastically different than what the calculator gives you, do not just jump straight to the calculator. You may have to go through a reverse diet process to teach your body how to process higher carbs, right? To teach your body how to process different macronutrients instead of blowing up like a balloon because your body's like, what are you doing to me? You haven't eaten carbs in a year. Now you're giving me all these carbs and I don't know what to do with them anymore. That's called metabolic inflexibility, right? We want to be metabolically flexible, where if you're eating different types of foods, your body's like, yep, process that, got that. It's like, it's just teaching so much health and wellness, right? Which is what reverse dieting does when done the right way. Okay, Miss Sue, how can we switch our protein, carb, fat? Yeah, so Sue, it sounds like you're struggling to understand like how to fill your macros, basically. This simply takes practice. It takes practice, just typing it in, seeing what it is, all that kind of stuff. I am going to show you though. Okay. So I pulled up my Fitness Pal. Okay. So she was eating, oh, actually, let me show this. So you said, she's like, I want peanut butter. Like, how the heck do I put peanut butter in there? Right. So she has 3 egg whites, which is protein, right? She has a half a cup of spinach, which is carbohydrate, and 1 spoon of feta, which is fat, right? So if you want to switch it for peanut butter is a fat source, so you need to switch the fat sources, feta for peanut butter, right? If you want the switch. Now, what I 10 out of 10 ladies recommend, never track in cups, tablespoons, any of that. It is really inaccurate. It doesn't take any less or more time than tracking on the scale in grams and ounces. It might at first, because there's always a learning curve to everything, but oh my gosh, it's so much more accurate. The scale, it's so much more accurate. So here's an example. You can see it says 1 tablespoon. So how would I do that on the scale, right? Just click it. Then you can see, oh, cool, look, there's 1 gram right there. And it's like, sweet, if the scale says 15, so you have 15 grams. So for those of you who are newer, how do I know this is a fat source? How do I know this is a fat source? Here's the macros. Okay. The point was to zoom, but I don't think it's gonna zoom for me. 3.2, can y'all see that? That's probably so small, isn't it? It's fine. I will go like this. Here we go. Here's the macros. 0.6 gram carb, 3.2 gram fat, 2.1 gram protein. The most prevalent macro is how we know the source. The highest macro here is fat, therefore it can be considered a fat source. There's protein in it as well, which is great. But in terms of like, what are we going to call it? We're going to call it a fat source. And so then let's look up, well, that was such autopilot. This is the peanut butter I eat. This is honey peanut butter, so it's not like, full on peanut butter. You can see the fat source is, or this is obviously also fat source peanut butter. It's higher, it's the same fat, less protein for, actually, sorry ladies, I'm getting tongue twisted. It's higher fat for sure, right? So basically all you have to do is look at your total. Do you guys see under breakfast? If you can't see under each meal what your macros are, you are doing yourself a great disservice. Make sure you must see the grams per meal of macros, because that's going to help you make sure that you're eating a really healthy and balanced meal. Okay, great. I hope that made sense. Let me know if you have additional questions. Okay, cool. Great. Shauna, yeah, I love this question. So she says, let me put it right here. So she says, I'm an Olympic weightlifter, master's category. Heck yeah, that's awesome, by the way. I train specifically Olympic lifting 4 times a week. 1 day is an off day, and the other 2 days are conditioning. So for those of you who are like, what the heck is conditioning? And this is just my understanding, Shauna, let me know if it's otherwise, but it would be like jump rope, higher reps, like less rest, right? Stuff like that. So it may be hits, but it may just be higher reps, jump rope in between instead of rest, like stuff like that, sprints, stuff like that. She wants to lose 10 pounds. What do I need to change or add into my workouts? No, she didn't say nutrition. She said workouts. Nutrition, so her deficit is 1678 and she's high protein keto. Yeah. So I like to be really honest and share all the education. So just know that everything I ever say to anyone truly from the depths of my heart is out of love, but I also want to be blunt and straightforward. Keto as an Olympic weightlifter is extraordinarily dangerous. Unless maybe, and I don't even know if this is right to say, but I'm like, maybe if you were like 250 to 300 pounds, because your body doesn't process carb as well, most likely as an endomorph. But assuming that you're probably not at that weight, it is quite dangerous to do keto for Olympic lifting. Because think about it this way. Olympic lifting is power, burst, right, of energy. It's explosion, right? What is the primary energy source for those movements? Carbs. Fat, a keto-based diet, maybe for a marathon runner who runs extensively long runs every day, right? Because fat is how do you say, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Fat is long-term energy. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. Fat is a long-term energy source, right? So like marathon running. Carbs is a quick energy source. Olympic lifting in general, walking around on your computer doing work, right? Sprints, jumping, anything. Those are all carbohydrate. So if you really want to lose fat, I would say let's first focus on making sure that your nutrition is meeting the demands of your lifestyle and your training, which right now it's not, because keto does not most efficiently meet the training and lifestyle demands of a lifter, especially an Olympic lifter. I love Olympic lifting, by the way. I was on the Oregon State Olympic lifting team when I was a trainer because I was like, I want to learn everything. So that's really cool that you do that. It's very challenging and it's very power-based. So I would say first, let's get your macros on point. I question if you'll lose it right away just by doing that. Shauna, send me a message if you want to talk through this more. Cool. I love the questions coming in, ladies. Keep going. I'll answer this really quick. Yes, this will be available later to watch, you betcha. I'll keep it pinned for a bit in our group. I also have a YouTube channel. I think you can look up Queens of Iron. I put all these on there as well. Okay, great. Good question. So the next one, Christina. So she says, I've tried a bulk nutritional phase for the first time, 21 days. So it sounds like she's in a surplus for the first time, after cycling on and off cuts for the last 9 months. So it sounds like she's going quick, cut, surplus, it sounds like. Or maybe cut, maintenance, surplus. The in-body machine is super inconsistent the first 8 days, Yeah, so it's just saying that the in-body scan is like super inconsistent. The machine seems inconsistent for me, yet my friends at the gym, I don't understand that last sentence. They also have probably don't have such crazy swings. I would actually look that up from an in-body professional. I'm not an in-body expert. I'm not an in-body scan expert by any means. But I do know there's a lot of variables in place, like sleep, same outfit, same time of day, same foods. Like everything has to be so consistent. So I would maybe just talk to an in-body expert. I feel stronger. My clothes aren't fitting much differently, and my lifts are progressing. You may be in maintenance calories. Because if you feel stronger, but your clothes don't fit differently, and you want them to fit differently, something's out of place. And I'm going to share with you guys a quick story. One of it is going to be nutrition, for sure, most likely. So I want to share a story with you about one of my great clients. She didn't want me to show her face, so I don't think I can show the picture. She came to us jacked, like so fit. My guess is 15% body fat. Very fit, very muscular. If anyone saw her, they would be like, dang, she looks amazing. She didn't like how her clothes fit. Didn't like it at all. She's like, I'm so fit, but like, why don't my clothes fit very well? And I'm like, we need to do a reshape of your body, right? Change the muscle, where the muscles are proportioned basically on your body. After 8 weeks, maybe it was 4, I think it was 4 weeks, but definitely after 8, she's like, I love how my clothes fit. It was that short of a time, right? She's with us for a year, which is great because it takes time to grow. But after that short of time, someone at 15% body fat said, oh my gosh, I love my body. We didn't do any cardio. All we're doing is lifting. She was doing F45. She still wanted to do F45. So I was like, fine, we'll do 3 days of physique shaping lifts. Sorry about that. And we'll do, okay. All right, ladies, I have about 20 minutes. So we'll do 3 days of our lifts, 2 days of F45. She's loving her results so much. Now she's doing 1 day of F45. Yay. And then 4 days of lifts, which is wonderful because it's more time with the lift that's truly supporting her outcome desire, right? And so, Christina, when you say my clothes don't really fit different, I'm definitely stronger. I'm definitely improving in my strength and my gains, but my clothes don't fit really different. I'm like, it's either or both a macro change need or you're lifting. Not that many lifting routines are truly set to shape a woman's body. It's crazy. They're just set for like a good workout or to get strong. Those things are important. It's obviously very important to get strong. How about we get strong and shape a body that we love? Right? Like you're putting in the work. Let's get all the benefit. Okay. Kim, let me know if you have a question, Christina. So Kim, should macros change after menopause? Should fat increase and carbs decrease? Yeah, this is woman dependent. I typically do higher protein, a little bit higher fat, and then lower carb for sure for women in menopause. It does depend on the woman. What I have found is maybe 30% of the time, okay, let me start with the positives. I have found that about 70% of the time, women in menopause want to follow the right macros and want to adapt their lifestyle, therefore they see results. About 30% of the time, because I think of generation, your mind has been so conditioned to cardio, low calories, low carb, that you won't push yourself into trusting the process. And so you keep spinning your wheels because you won't just like dive in and follow a program and get the results. So I've seen great results from women in menopause, but the key trend is that they follow the program and obviously improve their lifestyle. And then they lose the belly fat, right? It takes time. It takes time. But yeah, I do, like I said, I do higher fat and higher protein. Our trainers do too, lower carb. Not super low carb though, because especially if you're lower calorie, because we want to make sure you're in a safe range for carbohydrate, right? So right now, really safe ranges for women, especially women who lift weights, is 1.6 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram body mass, not pound, kilogram, 1.6 to 2 grams protein per kilogram body mass. If you're over like 220 pounds, you could maybe drop to 1.4 protein. 0.5 to 2 grams of fat per kilogram body weight. I typically do about 0.75, depending on the woman. Some women we have at 1.2 grams, so it really depends. The healthy range for carbohydrate is 2 to 8 grams of carb per kilogram body weight, right? So many are trying to just get to the 2 gram. So I don't like to drop carbs too low because we still want to support lifestyle and training demands. It's so vital. Otherwise, you're going to feel like crap. You're not going to have very much energy. Okay. So that was the same question for Kathy. Yep. I think another thing, ladies in menopause or perimenopause, is sometimes it feels like, okay, what I used to do doesn't work for me now, so nothing works for me. It's like, that's not true. We just need to get you on the right macros for what your body needs now. You need to open your mind to allow yourself to change to what your body needs now, not what it's used to doing, right? Okay. I love you, Maria. I'm sorry, girlfriend. I am not a therapist. So I would say talk to a therapist, but I love you and my heart goes out to you. Okay, so trying to pre-plan and then stick to macros is a challenge every day. Getting better about how consistent does one need for weight loss or body recomp, and typically for how long? Yeah. I love this question because I think it's a beautiful opportunity to reframe, right? Because some ladies, you guys are viewing it as a diet. You're viewing it as something you have to do for a time, but that's not what it is. That's not how we train, at least. Macros are a tool to teach you a new lifestyle. So my answer is forever. Be compliant forever. Not tracking forever, but learn that lifestyle for yourself, because that is going to set you up for long-term success. What a blessing, right? Give that gift to yourself, right? And your loved ones. So my question would be, like, why is it a challenge? Let's solve that, right? Let's solve the challenge. Yeah, so to see consistent results, usually 5 to 6, at least 5, 6 or 7 days out of 7 compliance. So all macros 0 to 5 grams over or under at the end of the day. But there's a lot of different variables too, like balancing and spacing your food quality, stuff like that. But what I have seen rarely, and actually it's just one client that I can think of, maybe 2 out of like hundreds, was they were compliant 5 days. They would blow so hard the weekend that amount of surplus completely negated the rest of the week. It was really frustrating, actually, for everybody. So I would say, instead of focusing on, oh, how long do I need to do this to get results, reframe that to say, what do I need to adjust so I can continue to develop a fit and healthy lifestyle? And your body will naturally follow and get the results you want as a result of the healthy lifestyle, right? Let me know if you have questions on that, Sue. Okay. Barbara, what happens if I can't eat all my macros? Yeah. So if you have loads of macros at the end of the day, don't force feed yourself. Start again the next day. Pre-plan your macros. That's truly the solution. Barbara or anyone else, if you need help pre-planning your macros, you can just type below pre-plan macros, and I have a whole video walking you through it step by step. Amy, where do you find nutrition information for things like fruits, veggies, and meats? Is there a reliable chart or something you can recommend? I feel like I'm flying blind. Yeah. So we just use MyFitnessPal. And so I wanted to show you that. So let's just say like apple. There's a billion apples, right? Like, how do you even know? For MyFitnessPal, the green check mark shows that it's a more accurate and reliable outcome, right? And so I would just click that. What the heck is one medium? One medium for me is going to be different than one medium for you, right? So we never want to go by something like that. We want to go by grams. Grams, 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 grams. Always grams. Trust me. You will thank me later and you'll be like, wow, that was so much easier to get results. I'm like, of course it was, because it's more fine-tuned, right? It's more accurate. Let me know if you have questions there. Oops. All right, where am I? Regina. Okay, great, ladies. I'm going to go into Regina, and then I'll go to all these other questions. So if I'm trying to gain muscle and lose fat, should I use the macro counter for maintenance, weight loss, or muscle gain? I know this is such a good question. Yeah, let me show you guys a visual of what she's talking about. I think a lot of you may know because you have the macro calculator, but I want to actually show you visually for those of you who do not. And if you need it, just comment macro calculator below, and I will we'll send it to you. We'll tag you in that. Okay. So what she's saying, and I will zoom in. What she's saying is on the macro calculator, do we do, and I'm literally changing it right now. Do we do maintenance, weight loss, or surplus? So this is going to be lose fat, gain muscle. This is going to be fat loss and muscle gain possible, because it really depends on what you're doing. And this is weight gain and muscle gain. In a surplus, we like for ladies to gain about 1 pound per month. That way you're not gaining excess fat, right? We don't want you to gain excess fat. So let me see if I can like unbold this so it's a little bit clearer. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So if you want to lose fat and gain muscle, you may be maintenance, you may be weight loss. If you want the scale to go down and you want to lose fat and gain muscle, I would go into weight loss. I could, I guess, put that as deficit. Oops. Yeah, weight, fat loss, and muscle gain, still possible. Ladies, would this help if I just said deficit? I'm just going to put deficit. Deficit. There we go. Okay, cool. So, and then just as a note, it's really important to do the reverse diet, right? Like don't just go straight to it. Okay, cool. Let me know if you have questions there. Lovely, ladies. Okay, let's go to, let's see, I want to make sure this is out. I'm going to stop there. All right. How long should you be in each phase? Yeah. Actually, well, I can grab your name. I have a video. I'll tag you in this. It's called Deficit, Maintenance, Surplus, Reverse Diet. It talks through all about that. So I'll tag you in that. If I don't tag you in that today, please send me a message just to remind me, please. And I'll definitely send you that. Okay, so she says, I'm so concerned about too many carbs. This is really helpful to learn. Yeah, I know. But remember, I think it was like 10 years ago, fat was the enemy, right? Then it was carbs were the enemy. It's like, you guys, it's a diet culture. Do not listen to the diet culture. Let's look into research, right? Functionality, practical-based teaching, not diet culture, not shots, not pills. It's ridiculous. It's hurting you long-term. Melina, so if you're insulin resistant, should you still eat higher carb? Obviously, there's going to be outliers, right? Do what you need medically. I'm more so talking like health panels are normal for the most part, lifting weights, that type of thing. If your body cannot handle or process a lot of carbs efficiently, obviously, let's work with that. Let's do higher protein, higher fat, and lower carb. On rest days, should your carb intake be lower? I don't believe so. We do flatline macros, so all 7 days are the same. Sometimes we'll do a 5-2 split, like 5 low days, 2 high days, but typically we do those for 2 reasons. A, if they're blowing the weekend, they just need more calories over the weekend. We do high weekend days, so they have more space to eat, to play. And then the other thing is like if they really want to grow glutes or shoulders, or they really, really, really want to grow a muscle group, we do high carb day on, so a high day on that training day. So if it's glutes and she's on glute day, it's like sweet, we're bumping up to 250 grams of carb or whatever it is. So doing high days for those as well. But no, I don't recommend, you don't need to do, oh, I'm not doing activity today, I need to way lower my calories. It's not necessary at all. Yeah, this will be available later to watch. Like I already shared. Okay, Dee Dee. I run out of macros before I run out of calories. Sometimes as much as 200 calories. I'm happy with my results, but wonder if it's bad. Yeah. I'm going to speak as if this is my Fitness Pal because that's the only one that we use. So if you are not tracking alcohol, if you're only eating food, you can completely ignore calories and just focus on your macros. If you are drinking alcohol, you have to look at calories because alcohol is the 4th macro. It has calories, but our food apps typically don't show us like the actual macro alcohol, right? If you're not tracking alcohol, and you still are showing 200 calories, something's not tracking right in your log. So it just needs to be fixed. Something's up with it. Normally, I would say between like negative or positive 70 calories, right? It should be pretty close. I hope that makes sense. Cool. Great, ladies. Wonderful questions. Really, really great questions. My gosh, those were awesome. I love diving deep with you, ladies. Love answering those. Thank you for, having the courage to share those questions, to be here to learn. I value you guys so much. I know your time is valuable, and we just want to help you, right? We just want to help you grow and learn the healthy and sustainable approach. Like, that should be the only way, right? Wonderful, ladies. Again, thank you. If you have any additional questions, just let me know. We'll talk through it. I hope you have a great day, and thank you again for being here, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Don't forget, research review tomorrow on under eating. I'm very excited to come on to chat with you guys about that. Bye.